Good Saturday afternoon, everyone. We have a lot to talk about. Major severe weather outbreak, probable tomorrow afternoon, Sunday, that is. This will be February 26th, tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night into Monday morning across the area. We have a moderate risk out for Oklahoma. Oklahoma seems to be in a bullseye right now, but as you get east of there, Sunday night, that's when the severe weather will continue. And we're going to go into that here in just a minute. So let's get into it. But first, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, it is free. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Click all on notifications, and you'll be notified every time we go live or we post content, short range content on YouTube. You'll be notified every single time, so you can be up to date on the current weather in your neck of the woods. So, all right, let's get into it right now. As always, I'm going to start out with the current hazard map across the United States. Big time trough out here towards the west. We still have blizzard warnings across the Sierras here, and just the hills, what are north and east of the Los Angeles area. Like I said, there's been some low elevation, very low elevation snows, down to about 500 feet in spots in California, with that dynamic cooling that is taking place with this very strong cold core system that's coming into California. Winter storm warnings around the Las Vegas area, in the hills around there, and then as you get towards Flagstaff and Arizona as well, winter weather advisories in the mountains here in New Mexico. And you're probably wondering, what is all this out here? This is high wind watches and warnings across New Mexico into Texas. We're talking about winds probably 30 to 50 miles an hour tomorrow. This is non-thunderstorm winds, people. So 30 to 50 mile per hour winds with gusts probably over that in spots, 50 to 60 mile an hour gust ahead of this system because of how strong this system is, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. We have a wind advisory that came out over here towards northeastern parts of Oklahoma into northwest Arkansas. I do believe some of these will be extended out as we go throughout the afternoon. 30 or probably 25 to 40 mile an hour winds out this way, with gusts possibly approaching 50 miles an hour. Winter storm watches up here towards Wisconsin. And then just a general spattering of some flood advisories out across the rest of the area here. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going to cause all this severe weather that's coming for tomorrow. So here is the Troublemaker that's coming into California. This thing is a big bowling ball, very cold upper levels coming into the area here. And then this thing's going to rocket east and become negatively tilted across New Mexico into Colorado and across Texas as we go into tomorrow. And this thing's going to wrap up and just explode energy. You can see here all this bowing out of this system right here. That's going to be extreme energy that's coming out. There's going to be a strong line of storms that comes ahead of this as well. We're talking possibly hurricane force wind gusts with straight line winds tomorrow as being the biggest threat across the area. Now, you see this thing really starts wrapping up and going into northwest Arkansas, into Missouri, as you go into the overnight hours, into early Monday morning. We're talking probably 2 to 4 a.m. in the morning on Monday across Missouri into northwest Arkansas as some damaging wind gusts come through this area. So this is the Troublemaker that's coming in through Texas, through Oklahoma, and into Kansas, and then into Missouri and northwest Arkansas in the overnight hours and the wee hours of Monday morning. All right, let's go over the risk areas for tomorrow. Like I said, we have a moderate risk out for Enid, Oklahoma, Altus, Oklahoma, Reno, Elk City, Weatherford, Oklahoma, all under a moderate risk. You are under the gun at some of the worst severe weather tomorrow. We have an enhanced risk out for Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Norman, Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma, Broken Bow as well, over towards Joplin, Missouri, and far, far northwestern parts of Arkansas and southern and southeastern parts of Kansas. Around that, we have a slight risk out for Kansas City, Wichita, Overland Park, Kansas, Springfield, Missouri, and then down towards almost really close, just east of Lubbock, over towards Wichita Falls, and Liberal, Kansas, Wichita as well. Like I said, basically Branson, Missouri, over to Harrison, Arkansas as well, Fayetteville, and those places there. So all in all, there's going to be about 9 million people under the gun for severe weather for tomorrow. And then if you include the marginal risk, we're looking at about 17 to 18 million people under the gun for some sort of severe weather tomorrow. So to sum everything up, significant damaging winds and a few tornadoes is expected from the eastern Texas panhandle during the late afternoon hours of Sunday across much of Oklahoma through the evening, with a wind threat persisting into Missouri and northwest Arkansas overnight Sunday night into Monday morning. Storm Prediction Center has highlighted this as well. Widespread wind damage is possible, especially across this moderate and enhanced risk area for tomorrow. Okay. Now, as you get into Missouri, this will persist into overnight. I think some of this enhanced risk will shift a little bit further east as SB Storm Prediction Center does their updates early tomorrow morning, because this wind threat is going to expand into northwest Arkansas, into western Missouri as we go into Monday morning. Okay, so we're talking straight line winds of probably 60 to 80 miles an hour. That's over hurricane force winds, which is 74 miles an hour or higher. We're talking 60 to 80 mile an hour straight line winds as the main threat across this area tomorrow. And like I said, Storm Prediction Center has highlighted that widespread wind damage will be possible tomorrow afternoon through Monday morning. Now let's go over the tornado threat. 5% risk area here. Enid, Oklahoma, Altus, El Reno, towards Woodward, Elk City. This is a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of any given point in this area. And then on the outside of that, you got a 2% likelihood. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, over towards Wichita, to Norman, Oklahoma, and Wichita Falls, Texas. 2% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of any given point in that green area. Okay? Now, like I said, the main threat is going to be winds. This is very significant. This is off the charts significant winds. 45% area in that moderate risk area that I showed you here just a little bit ago. And the significant wind hatched area goes all the way into Springfield, Missouri, northwest Arkansas, and through most of Oklahoma tomorrow. So when in that hatched area, they're expecting 65 knot winds or greater, which means it's going to be 75 to 80, possibly 85 mile an hour winds at times in certain spots across this area. So this is something that you need to take seriously. Like I said, Storm Prediction has highlighted widespread wind damage is possible tomorrow afternoon through Monday morning across this area. Here's the hail risk: 50% chance, a 50% area of here. This is basically the probability of 1 inch diameter hail or larger within 25 miles of any given point here. So 15% likelihood here. But like I said, I can't reiterate how significant this wind risk is going to be. The straight line wind risk. You saw that negative tilted trough coming in, and it's just a huge huge ball of energy ready to explode in Oklahoma tomorrow, and it's going to transfer a lot of that energy, possibly through thunderstorms to the ground. And this is why we're expecting very, very high winds in possibly excess of 75 to 80 miles an hour across this area, especially in the hatched area of far eastern panhandle of Texas through most of Oklahoma into northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri and far southern parts of Kansas. All right, let's take a look at the extended out 18Z of the HRRR. This is the high res model. We're going to go over future, excuse me. Let's take a look at radar here. And when we go into 11 o'clock tomorrow, you can see just some scattered, clouds, showers around, especially towards eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas. But then here comes the energy and storm initiation. There's going to be some storms out here in New Mexico around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but then storms start initiating around 4 to 5 o'clock, and they really start congealing into a line of storms very quickly as we go into 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then really ramping up just in a few hours from nothing to, look at this, bam, you got a lot of storms here, some Boeing segments here as well, even in some of these storms. Let's zoom in here. All right, so I zoomed into Oklahoma here so you guys can see exactly what's happening. So this is you can see the timestamp over here. This is Central Time, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then this line of storms really gets going just west of Amarillo through the panhandle of Oklahoma as well, and far southern parts of Kansas. Here's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, really, really strong line of storms coming through Oklahoma. Like I said, extreme straight line winds tomorrow of 60 to 80 miles per hour, maybe higher in spots. And like I said, Storm Prediction Center has highlighted there's going to be a widespread wind damage event is possible tomorrow. Okay, so this is 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I mean, this thing, there's like I said, there's Boeing segments just in this model. There's one right here. See if I can change this color. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. All right. So Boeing segment here. And then see how it cuts in right here. There's some bows here. So anywhere this is bowing out, there's going to be some very, very high extreme winds across the area. So this is something, like I said, this is something you guys need to pay attention about, especially if you live in southern Kansas, Oklahoma, parts of northern Texas as well, because, like I said, this is going to be a very big damaging wind event, and it's been highlighted by Storm Protection Center. Now, this is 10 o'clock at night. Big line of storms, pretty much a bow echo across northern parts of Oklahoma, cutting back in. There's some Boeing segments through here. Now, there's probably going to be some wrap up tornadoes within this line if you can get some good inflow coming into some of the parts of the storm. You can see this is a good example here. You can see a little bit of inflow here. This is, like I said, this is future radar. So see a little bit of inflow here. So there's going to be a natural twisting that happens. So there might be a few, like I said, spin up tornadoes tomorrow as well, embedded in this line of storms. As we go forward here, this is 11 o'clock. Like I said, big line of storms all the way through Oklahoma, parts of approaching the Dallas-Fort Worth area as we get towards 11 o'clock to midnight. Now, this starts falling apart in the southern part of this area, but there will be winds out ahead of this as well as this line pushes southeast and east. So Then this line, this Boeing segment, is coming into western parts of Missouri as we go into midnight on tomorrow night. And then another Boeing segment of storms coming into northwest Arkansas. This is going into 1 o'clock. Let me change the view here. Change the view out to Arkansas now. Arkansas, Missouri area here. So, like I said, Boeing segment. This thing is going to be rocking through Springfield around 1 a.m. tomorrow. Timing may be off just a little bit. Like I said, I'll have further updates as we go into tomorrow as well. And then, like I said, there's line of storms coming through northwest Arkansas as well. So as we go through 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, still a big Boeing segment up here towards Missouri, central Missouri, and it's going towards St. Louis as we head into 3 to 4 o'clock. A lot of this down here is just falling apart. So, because as this storm is rocketing up northeast, a lot of the energy is going to go with it as well. So, I fully expect the way the HRRR looks at the moment, I fully expect Storm Prediction Center will probably expand out the severe weather risk area for maybe northwestern parts of Arkansas into Missouri. Even though they're only under a slight risk right now, I fully expect, especially if these trends hold, that those risk areas will go up. And like I said, there is if you include the marginal risk, we've got marginal, slight, enhanced, and moderate risk all out for tomorrow. We're talking about 18 to 19 million people that could be affected with severe weather tomorrow. So, and like I said, Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a widespread wind damage event is possible tomorrow. So this, you have to take this seriously because, like I said, this storm is going to get negatively tilted very quickly tomorrow. And then that thing's going to wrap up pretty quickly and just basically transfer all the energy. And then all the storm initiation happens and a lot of that downward motion as well through some of these thunderstorms. That's why we're going to have some very heavy winds with this amount of energy that's coming into Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, through Missouri, into parts of northwest Arkansas tomorrow night. Now, you need to have a way to get warnings because a lot of this, especially if you're in eastern parts of Oklahoma, into eastern Kansas, Missouri, into northwest Arkansas, a lot of this is going to come after midnight, and you will not have a way to get warnings. You need to have something to wake you up to, because these winds are going to be very dangerous. Like I said, 60 to 80 mile an hour winds possible, possibly higher than that across parts of the area here of Oklahoma, Kansas, or into Missouri, into northwest Arkansas. Sunday afternoon through Monday morning. All right. Here's rainfall totals over the next 7 days, basically from late Saturday today through late Saturday next week. Widespread 2 to 4, possibly 5 inches of rain across southern Arkansas through parts of Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, most of Tennessee here, into Kentucky as well. West of there, we're getting the blues here. It's basically 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half of rain through most of Kansas, into Missouri, into northern Arkansas. And as you get southwest, tapers out to about 1/4 to half an inch from there. Like I said, I can't stress on this enough. This is going to be a major threat area for tomorrow. Like I said, if you include the marginal risk area, you've got 18 to 19 million people under the gun for severe weather for tomorrow afternoon through Monday morning. And the moderate risk area, basically from Enid, Oklahoma, Altus, El Reno to Elk City, and Weatherford, Oklahoma. Those areas there, moderate risk. Enhanced risk, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Norman, Oklahoma, Lawton, over towards Broken Bow. And then slight risk, Kansas City to Wichita, Overland Park, over to Springfield, Missouri, down towards northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville, Rogers area, over towards Harrison, Bentonville, down to getting really close to Fort Smith. And of course, down here towards Wichita Falls and just east of Amarillo and Lubbock in Texas. Okay. Like I said, wind risk is off the charts. Significant severe, like I said, significant wind gusts of 65 knots or greater within 25 miles of any given point. So significant risk here for Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Springfield, Missouri, Norman, Oklahoma, and Lawton as well. And just east of Amarillo and Lubbock is under the gun for possibly a significant widespread wind damage threat tomorrow and into Monday morning. Like I said, 60 to 80 miles an hour winds, possibly higher than that in certain spots. So stay weather aware, have a way to get warnings. Also, our supporters out there on Facebook and YouTube, I did a long range outlook going through most of March, looking colder for sure. And I've been talking about this since the ice storm we had in late January. After that, I started talking about how February is going to be probably mostly warm until we get all the way to the end of the month, and then as we get to the end of the month through March is when we're going to start cooling down, and then March totally the whole month of March looks on average below average for the month of March through most of the United States. Now, like I said, I talked a lot more about that, the wintry threats possible, how cold it could get, could there be more severe weather threats, and I looked at all the storm systems as possible, plus looked at snowfall, all on the supporter hub. And then we have a few supporters as well on YouTube now. I upload that onto the members only on YouTube. So if you haven't joined, you want to support us and the work we do for you, you can hit that join button on YouTube. There's different levels of subscriptions on there per month, and you can see all the long-term content. You have exclusive content, plus we do giveaways from time to time. So there's just multiple avenues for you to join to get that long-term or long-range update as well, and plus help support us to help you all stay ahead of any weather that's coming. All right. So thank you all so much for watching. Remember, hit that thumbs up, that like button, and if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, it is free. Hit that subscribe button and click that all on notifications, and you will get notified every time we post any short-term or short-range content, and we go live on YouTube. All right, thank you all so much, and we will be probably back on live tomorrow regarding this possible significant wind threat that's coming through the region.